So this is my final World Cup group stage predictions. Going to be predicting who's qualifying for the knockout stage in these coming games here. Some of them have been played. The third game in some groups has been played. I did the previous prediction videos for the games that have been played over the previous evenings. I have so I've done it in order of not alphabetical order, in order of when the games are played. So I've already predicted Group I, which kicks off first this evening. That's in a separate video that went up yesterday, I believe. So I'm going to do the remaining group stages here, the ones I've not yet done the final match day predictions for. So starting with Group G, that's the first one we've got to do. We'll go for Egypt against Iran first. Now this is going to be quite tight because both of these two shown a lot of quality and maybe been better than people expected. I've been particularly impressed with Egypt. I think they've got a really special team together here. I think they've really gone under the radar. I think, if you're coming into this tournament, not really many people fancied them to do that well. A lot of people said maybe they'd get through in second in the group, but it was always a case of like, well, they're not really clearly much better than the other two, but they're in a position now. They're in pole position to top the group. I'm really impressed with them against Belgium. Better team in the first half, and even in the second half, when Belgium started to step up, they've shown a good defensive side to their game as well. It's players like Salah got obviously his goal the other day. You got Malmouche in there as well, but they've got loads of quality players. Players like Ashir, Zico, Lashin. Yeah, they've got a really good side together. Egypt. I really do rate them, and I think if they can get the win against Iran here, they'll top the group, so they could get themselves in a very strong position. But Iran, though, still got a good chance to qualify themselves. So draw would keep, depended on the other result. If the other game was a draw would obviously keep them second. Draw would definitely have them as a third place team, I believe, with the two below them playing. But a loss could mean that potentially they fall to they'd be probably third place, 2 points, wouldn't do it. But to get a draw out of this Egypt game, they give themselves a pretty good chance. I can't see them beating Egypt, but they've been good in this tournament, Iran. So I definitely wouldn't count them out because they were good against New Zealand. They fought back. Belgium, to be honest, they're probably the better side in that game. To be honest, Belgium are hanging on at the end with the 10 men, somewhat. So I think it'll be a close game. I think it'll be a good game. Both teams have impressed in this tournament so far, especially with everything going on with Iran, the lack of preparation they've had, the uncertainty that they've had to deal with. They've been impressive, but I do think this might be a step too far here. Egypt have been seriously impressive so far. I think they could go on a run in this tournament. I'm going for 2-1 Egypt win. I think it's going to be a good game though. The other game in this group, New Zealand against Belgium. Now Belgium again find themselves in a position where group stage exits a possibility. Well, how the group is set up, goal difference is all quite tight. You got Belgium and Iran both on 0 on the goal difference, but on 2 points. Egypt on 4 points. So a draw would probably do it in terms of topping the group from Egypt. Belgium would need to win and hope Egypt games a draw and the goal difference would have to swing around quite significantly. So New Zealand bottom there on -2 goal difference, 1 point. So again, mathematically it could all completely flip around, but a lot would need to happen. There's a lot of different outcomes of teams that could and couldn't go through. New Zealand though, been impressive. Still waiting that first World Cup win, but up until that game they lost to Egypt, which they led in the first half. Egypt pulled off a really impressive second half comeback. Up until that game they were winning. Up until that game they were unbeaten in the World Cup. Their 3 draws went out in the group stage before another draw against Iran, which they led twice in. I think they're going to give Belgium a real test. I think they'll be up for it, and I think they're going to pose a real challenge. And I think especially as Belgium have been far from convincing so far this tournament, I think it has to be said. I think they've had a lot of good build-up play, a lot of good spells in the games, particularly the way they finished against Egypt. They looked like they were pushing for the winner. Against Iran, I thought Iran probably had the better chances, and I've seen as they got someone sent off Belgium as well, they're really hanging on. But surely they can't have a group stage exit here. I could see this being a draw, and then that would really make Belgium's fate uncertain, depending on the other result. But I think they'll do it just Belgium 2-1, but they're not convincing and they're not living up to the. It was expected to top this group it'd be quite straightforward for them. It looked quite straightforward for them on paper. It's just not. It's not been the case. And to be honest, they've the quality they have got. They're not performing to the level that they surely can perform to. Group H. This is another one that's similar in terms of the points tally. Spain top on 4, and they're playing Uruguay, who are second on 2 points. I'm not sure what's separating them and Cape Verde. Some sort of statistic is goals. Goals for, yeah, goals scored. That's what's got Uruguay above Cape Verde, yeah, because of course they're the 0-0 in the first game. Both of them on 0 goal difference and 2 points, so there it's really tight. And then you got Saudi who are bottom with a, the goal difference to them could be a problem because of how much worse it is because to the other teams because of how heavily they got beat by Spain. Well, they've got the point as well in the first game. So we'll start with Cape Verde against Saudi Arabia. Now, Cape Verde have been seriously impressive so far this tournament, and they're another team that no one really expected anything from coming into the tournament. Everyone said the same order in this group. Everyone had Spain going through as the winner, Uruguay going through in second, and then Saudi third potentially as one of the third place qualifying, and then Cape Verde fourth. But Cape Verde are in a position now, I think they've got a really good chance of qualifying. And the way my predictions are going to go, I actually think they will. I think they're going to beat Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia on their day, they turn up. They're a team that's definitely improved in national team level. If they turn up on their day, they could definitely be a difficult game, and it could definitely cause Cape Verde problems. But I think Cape Verde, I think they're so well organised defensively, and I think we're seeing that they've got goals in them as well. It's unlucky not to have one against Spain, the 2 against Uruguay as well, in the lead at one point as well. So I think they'll get the win here. I'm going to say 2-1 Cape Verde, and that will definitely give them a good chance. I mean, that will put them, because the other two. Yeah, I mean that should definitely put them through. I think. I think there's probably a chance they could finish. No, I think yeah, if they was to win, they would definitely go as one of the top 2 because the 2 above are playing each other. Yeah. So let's look at Uruguay against Spain now. 2x World Cup winners here. Spain though looking a lot more likely to do it this time around. Spain in a good position, I feel, here to top the group. Need to get the win to make sure. So for that reason, I'm going to predict Spain win, even though Uruguay need the win to guarantee 3 points could be enough, depending on the other results elsewhere in the other groups, elsewhere in this group. Going for 2-0 Spain, though, I think it will be. I can't see anything but. I've really not been overly impressed with Uruguay, to be honest. I thought, they better in the second game. I thought, they had some good spells in the Cape Verde game. Couldn't take full advantage at the end of the game, though. Had to fight back against Saudi Arabia after going 1 behind. I see this being fairly straightforward for Spain, to be honest. I'm going for 2-0 Spain. I think they've really got going in that second game against Saudi Arabia. I don't see them looking back now. Group J. Now, we'll do Argentina and Jordan first because neither one can go anywhere, as in Jordan are already out in fourth because of the head-to-head record. Even if they was to win one of the other 2 out of Algeria or Austria lose, they couldn't move above them because the head-to-head rule basically means that if teams are level on points, if one of them's beating each other, that will come into play instead of goal difference. So I don't know what everyone thinks about that new rule. I imagine some people prefer it, some people don't. I'm not really too sure, to be honest, but what the general consensus around that is. But certainly something different to what we've not seen in previous tournaments, something unique for this tournament. I don't know if that'll be imagine that'll probably be the way going forward now, but. Argentina top, even if Algeria and... Now, Austria and Algeria, second, third, both 3 points. Goal difference is better for Austria, playing each other. So a draw keeps them as they are, right? And a win for Algeria would obviously move them above Austria. That's the only way they can get above them. Both of them are 3 points behind Argentina because they've both lost to Argentina. Couldn't move above them even if Jordan win. But even if one of them loses the game, Jordan beat Argentina and overturned their goal difference. They couldn't because they've lost to both of them. That's how it's set up. So it's a weird situation. So Jordan, they've fought hard in this tournament. They was unlucky not to have something out of one of the games. They lost 2-1 and 3-1 to Algeria and Austria and given them both competitive games. And they're facing an Argentina side here. They can just hold their head high going into this last game. In the first tournament, they've done well for themselves. They've made a game of it. And Argentina are already through. They're probably going to rest players. They're probably going to rotate. Is there a chance of them maybe to put in some sort of performance? So I can't see Jordan getting anything. I think Argentina will just be fairly straightforward for them. They've already won the group, but you never know. We saw the US already won the group. They lost last night in a game you didn't expect them to lose coming into it. So I'll go 2-0 Argentina though. Now this Austria and Jordan game, there's a story around. Algeria and Austria game. Sorry, there's a real story around this that I was hearing about the other day. Now the goal difference, like I said, both on 3 points. Goal difference is keeping Austria in the second, and that's how it'll stay if it's a draw. But it could actually benefit them to lose the game realistically. If there's a loser in this game, it will actually in some weird way benefit them because the second place team in this group is pretty much certain that Spain are eligible top Group H, meaning that the second place team will go up against Spain, either Austria or Algeria. But whoever loses finishes third, or whoever finishes third in the group will have a much more favourable game. I was hearing it could be the US or Canada possibly. Either I think it was one of the teams. Either way, it was a more favourable game what than Spain. So it'll be funny. I mean, people are saying look, they will take the teams actually almost try and lose. I can't see that happening personally, but there's a weird scenario where losing the game could actually work out better for Algeria or Austria. I mean, this is a hard because of that. Around this, it's a really, really hard game to call. But one thing's for certain is that one of them wins, they'll definitely go through in second. But if it's a draw, they'll both go through as well. 4 points would be enough for a third place qualifying spot. So again, I think this is one of those games where, like, we saw, like last night, we saw a 0-0 played out between Paraguay and Australia, who are in the exact same position. Neither one of them went for it. I think we could see a similar thing here. I'll go for a 0-0 just based on the whole context around the game. It's a really weird game. Real story around that. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out, to be honest. Group K is going to be interesting. The Congo against Uzbekistan. Now, the Congo have been impressive in this tournament. Unlucky against Colombia. They pushed them all the way. Colombia have been impressive themselves, but they pushed them all the way. Fairly late winner for Munoz on the score sheet again. They really held their own in the game. DR Congo against Colombia, given a real close game. It took a 76th-minute winner from Munoz to get the Colombian win. And yeah, I mean, DR Congo, they're so solid defensively. They've been really impressive. The draw. They got the equaliser against Portugal, and actually, probably, to be honest, had the better of the second half. Had less of the ball. When they get the ball, they're really effective with it, and that's where I think they could look to really cause Uzbekistan problems here. From what I've seen of both sides, I personally would think the Congo have got a bit more to offer. But what I will say about Uzbekistan is debuting in this tournament. They've, particularly in that first game against Colombia, they had a very good spell. Got the equaliser, was in the game, and it wasn't a mistake that let Colombia back into the game. Maybe it would have been closer. Colombia pulled clear in the end, but they made that game competitive. They was, however, completely outmatched by Portugal, who, Ronaldo, has been a lot of talk around. A lot of people saying shouldn't be starting. I was, to be honest, before this game, I was saying, yeah, definitely shouldn't be starting anymore. But he did, he's shown that he can still do something. There's levels of oppositions that he'll come up against that I think will be a lot more problematic for him at his age. But he was certainly impressive in that game. Got the 2 first half goals. We see Mendes getting on the score sheet as well. Second half, Leao getting on there. They forced the own goal as well, Portugal. So real dominance in that game, which has gotten, a lot, which would have cooled down a lot of the negative press after the first game, where they was really below par against DR Congo. I do think DR Congo are going to beat Uzbekistan in their game though, and I think they're going to get themselves through as a third place team. I'm going to go for 1-0 to Congo in that game. I think they'll have enough. I think they'll have enough defensively, and I think they'll take the moment will come for them. The chance will come, and I think they will take it, like they have done. Like they did do against Portugal, maybe from a set piece or something. Now, this is a game I'm really looking forward to. This could be an absolutely brilliant game. Colombia against Portugal. What a game this could be. Colombia top of the group. As long as they don't lose here to Portugal, they'll top this group, which will be really ideal for them. And it could would that set up? Would that mean if England win the group, we'll go up against Portugal? I think it might. I did see that I think I saw that the other day. Or either way, Portugal would meet another favourite earlier on in the tournament, like what they would have done if they topped the group. I think Colombia have got a really good chance to do it here, and I think that will give them a nicer route. And I think Colombia are a team that can what was I saying? A team that certainly can go far in this tournament themselves. They've certainly got the quality. Standout player in Luis Diaz, one of the best in the world at the moment. You've got solid all over the pitch. You've Munoz as well so far seems to be on form. Improvement over the last few seasons has been there through the qualifying, through the Copa America. Been really, really impressed by them. In Portugal, this is the type of game where historically they can come unstuck in. It's historically a sort of game they don't always win in, where they're not always, when they meet another big side, they quite often fall short. It feels like a game that could well be a draw, which would be better for Colombia, obviously, because Portugal need to win to top the group. I'm going to go for Portugal just because it looked like they found rhythm against Uzbekistan. So I'll go for 2-1 to Portugal. But on the day, it really could go either way. It's that type of game. Colombia have got the quality, and I think they've got the belief as well in the way they're playing at the moment, the confidence, the run of form they're on. So that's how I see that group finishing though. So Portugal getting through. I think the Congo get through in third though in that group. So that'll be a real story in itself. Group L, England's group, of course, disappointed against Ghana, fantastic against Croatia. We see it historically with England quite often. We don't perform as well in the second game in the tournament, and it is tournament football. This can happen, but we're going up against Panama, who are already out, held their own in both games, only lost 1-0. Unfortunate, particularly against Ghana. To be honest, have not won. They're the better side, but the goals haven't been there, and that's the story. The game's been closer than I think people have expected, but the lack of goals is what's cost them. To be honest, I think you'd expect England to win it, but we certainly need to. We do have to win. Though it's not a game where we can rotate. Anything less than a win, then because of whatever result it is the other game, we would be at risk of not topping the group. So I am going to go for an England win. I'm going to go for 2-0. I think we're going to have to break them down. I think they're going to make it a tricky game. Might not be the best game to watch, because I think the goals will come for England, but I think we might have to work for them, and we don't seem to do well in that type of game. We seem to do better against teams that actually try and match us, like Croatia. But I think Panama, they're definitely not to be taken lightly, and it's a game that we have to be fully professional in and win and get over the line to get that first place in the group. So I'll go for 2-0 England. I think we'll get there in the end. Ghana against Croatia now. Now, obviously, Ghana sitting 4 points, level with England, actually. This is the goal difference factor. And Croatia in third on 3 points. Now, if Croatia could win, they'd obviously move up into second. They lose, there's a jeopardy over whether they qualify or not. A draw, to be honest, would suit both teams. Well, I do think Croatia are going to want the win. If you asked me before the tournament, I would have definitely said them. But I think Ghana have shown a real organisation about them. It's a close game. I'm going to go for... I've not actually said many draws this round, so I think we might see a draw here. Actually, I'm going to go for 1-1 in that game, which will probably mean both will mean both of them go through. So that's final set of group predictions. Next predictions I'll be doing is, of course, after these group stage games, it gets to the round of 32. Then we'll know who everyone that's playing everyone, and it's shaping up already to be some massive games. Like we already know that the Netherlands are going up against Morocco, and Japan are going up against Brazil. So we already know there's going to be some incredible knockout games really early on. So I'm looking forward to this. The predictions for all of that will be coming once all the fixtures are confirmed.